webinar for May is making moments. And so those of you who are joining us, I really appreciate it. Some of you, I know this is, you've been on the third webinar with us, and I hope that you enjoy this one as well. And I really appreciate your support. So this webinar is about making moments and making memorable moments with the people who are closest to us and the people who matter the most, including yourself. And recognizing that it's important for you to put time into yourself and time into others, because that is valuable. And, you know, when you're thinking about life and all that it's involved in life, life is just a really precious thing. And so what we're going to talk about today is we are going to talk about making memorable moments. We're going to talk about how to make those moments, how to be more present in the moment, and what you can do to be more mindful when you are spending time with others and in your daily activities. And so I want to give you a little bit of background about me and my coaching company. And so my coaching company is called Stride Leadership Consulting. And what it is, it's a personal development coaching company. What I do is I meet with clients over the phone or through Skype one-on-one. And I work with who you uniquely are. And how do I do that? I do that by finding out your top 5 strengths through StrengthsFinder. I use the StrengthsFinder assessment to find out your top 5 strengths, and I work with that and help you achieve and accomplish any and everything that you are wanting to accomplish in your life. And so today, that's a part of that. I hope that you, at the end of this session, you understand and learn great tips and some facts about being more mindful or being more present in the moment to make many memorable moments. And so I want you to think about when you're at the end of your life. Do you think that you'll look back and think, I'm sure glad I worked so hard, or I'm so glad I got that award, or I'm so glad that I spent all that time doing all of these great things by myself, or the great things that mattered most just to me? Probably not. In fact, it's a known fact that the elderly in their last days, they talk about the regrets that they have. A lot of times they don't really talk about those regrets, like, oh, I wish I would have worked longer hours, or I wish I would have gotten that job in India, or whatever they wanted to do. What they regret the most is not spending time with the people that mattered the most to them. What they regret the most is not enjoying life and having more fun and being more present in the moment, and being more present with the ones that they loved. On average, I would say we probably all have about 27,000 days on this earth, give or take a few days. And if you consider that a third of that life is spent in childhood, that we kind of don't remember exactly. And then the other part of your life, you're spent unconscious because you're asleep, right? And so there's not a lot that's happening consciously because you were asleep. And so if you think about, the great bulk of our lives is spent in adulthood. And those are the things that where we get our first job, where we go to college, where we marry the person who becomes our life partner, where we have our kids, our grandkids. And that part of our life is such a tremendous part of our life. And you have to think about, how are you spending that particular part of your life? Now, during your childhood, you can make a few choices here and there, but for the most part, you kind of have to do what you can and what your parents tell you to do amongst the circumstances that you are in. But once you leave from your parents' home, how you design your life is totally up to you. And so take a moment and think about just various moments in your life where you have really put forth your best effort, or you've really kind of thrown caution to the wind sometimes, not worried about what people think, not worried about what may come, if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, any of those things. So take a moment, and I want you to think about any of those moments in your life that you have had time to just really do what you wanted to do. And I'll give you a moment to think about that. As you've had a moment to think about that, as the great philosophers have said, that realizing how short life is, it reminds us that we need to live life fully and live presently in the moment. Knowing your time isn't endless is what makes us value that time so very much. And when you value something, you're reluctant to waste it. So we're going to just jump right into the presentation for today. And so I want to talk to you about making moments and learning how to embrace life. I want to leave you with this quote here. It says, the best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness, just by paying attention. One way you can work on paying more attention is by creating life-affirming habits. One life-affirming habit is meditation. And I'm not talking about, sitting down and as you see people, humming and, sitting cross-legged and they're sitting there on hours and hours on end. You have to start small. And if you're not accustomed to that, just take 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then just work on your breathing. Research has proven that those who meditate daily show more positive emotions than those that don't meditate. Meditation apparently does a lot more than simply quiet your mind. In fact, within a group doing daily meditation, the groups that continue to meditate after they've gone to like a retreat or some type of getaway, they experience increased mindfulness. They had a better sense of their life purpose. They had greater social support and lessened symptoms of illness. So what do you think about meditating? Because meditating can help us in our daily lives. If you just take a moment to just meditate. And like I said, start out slow, just 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then just work yourself up from there. Some more life-affirming habits that actually have a positive effect on how mindful we are having consistent gratitude, exercise, and live a healthy lifestyle. Eliminate distractions and negativity. Give of yourself. Be a giving person. Find beauty and positivity everywhere. Have you ever taken a moment to just look at the world around us? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. A lot of times, as we're driving on our way to work, we're not even paying attention to how we get there. Have you ever had that moment where you leave your house and you know you got in your car and you start driving, and then next thing you know, you're at work? And you may think, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Majority of our life spends its time in autopilot. We're creatures of habit. So we do a lot of the same things often. And so we become accustomed and used to doing the same things over and over. And so our minds are able to just, in fact, drive a car without you even thinking about it to your place of employment. But I would like to invite you tomorrow morning on your way to work. Really take some time, and as you're driving, to notice things. You might even see that there's a restaurant on your way to work that you might want to try one day. Or maybe there's a store on your way to work that you've never seen before that you might want to visit. But there are all types of things around us that are beautiful and that are positive. And just take a moment and just look at them. Just pause for a moment. We all live in our neighborhoods, and have you ever really taken the time to just look around in your neighborhood? Look at the flowers in your own garden or the flowers in your neighbor's garden. Just appreciate everything around you. Another thing is to help you be more mindful is to be able to express yourself and your feelings. Being able to adequately express yourself isn't something that comes naturally to some, and even most of us. I can tell you, even for me, being able to express myself, even before you all out there, at this time, I have many people who are online right now, and I have to think about constantly, am I going to say this right? Is this the right thing to say? Am I talking too fast? Am I talking too slow? Is it going to go too long? So even the best communicators in the world, we are self-conscious, and we are aware of how we're coming across, and we want to make sure that we come across to where everyone can understand us. But it's important for you to be able to express yourself, because it's important for you to be able to express your wants and your needs and your desires, and as well as express things that you don't like. Being able to express yourself is necessary to live an authentic, fulfilling, and healthy life, and to help you create the life of your dreams. A lot of times we accept things from others. We accept things that we don't agree with. We accept things that are not aligned with our values. We accept things that make us uncomfortable. And so as we are more mindful of the things that hurt us or the things that make us feel uncomfortable, then we learn to realize, you know what? I don't have to stand for this. And being more aware of your feelings and being more mindful of what makes you uncomfortable, this will help you to know how to express yourself about it. And of course, practice makes progress. So, the more you practice expressing to someone that you don't like something, then the next time that the opportunity presents itself, it becomes a little bit easier. Some other ways that are important as far as expressing yourself is within self-expression. Self-expression is our sole way to take what's inside of us and show it to the world. To make the most out of the life you have to live, you must be able to assert yourself and become your own biggest and best advocate. If you don't cheerlead for yourself, and if you don't become a better advocate for yourself, then who will? Because sometimes you'll be the only one in the room cheering for yourself, and that's okay. You should be your biggest cheerleader. And within this expression, this is how we communicate. This is how we connect with others. This is how we inspire others, is through our methods and forms of communication. And so if you feel like you have trouble communicating, I invite you to write your thoughts down. The more that we have opportunities to express ourselves, and we don't have to express ourselves in orally with words, we can also express ourselves through writing. And you'll find that sometimes if you just have to write down what you want to say before you need to say it, then just write it down. And then you'll be able to really express yourself exactly how you want to. I've had moments when I wanted to tell someone, I wanted to have a very important conversation with someone, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And so there's nothing wrong with having a pen and pad, just some notes or something, just jotting down some things that you want to say so that you can make sure that you hit those key points. It actually will give you more confidence rather than just kind of pulling words out of the sky and you end up rambling. And so try that sometimes and see if it will work. And hey, you know, we are a society that likes to express ourselves. Of course, our generation at this time, texting came along and we thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can communicate with someone without having to talk to them on the phone. I don't even have to call them. I can just text them. And then emojis were born. Whoa. How many of you were so excited when the emoji keyboard showed up on for texting, right? Because sometimes when you're trying to communicate with someone and you're texting and your words kind of don't come out just right, but then sometimes you can just throw an emoji in there and it says everything that you need to say, right? And then the flesh tone emojis came out. And it made it more personalized, right? And so we were like, oh my gosh, there's an emoji that looks like me. And so now, of course, the emojis have gone crazy. And you can pretty much articulate any and everything that any type of feeling or emotion that you would, or message or anything you would like to articulate just from an emoji. You can have a whole conversation with just an emoji. I mean, they even made a movie about emojis, right? So obviously emojis are important and they're here to stay. But I invite you to learn to listen to yourself. Listen to your emotions and your intuition. Too often, early in life, we are taught directly or indirectly to hide our emotions, right? We're told to put on a smiling face even when you don't like it or don't feel like it. Remember, fake it till you make it. And it's time to unlearn all of that. And so the first step is to begin to really feel the emotions that are inside of you. Your first instinct may be to mentally run away from those feelings because you feel guilty for feeling what you're feeling. But try not to do that. If someone makes you angry, that's a valid emotion. They've made you angry. And you feel that. If someone has made you sad, then they made you sad. And you feel that. And if someone has made you happy, then they've made you happy. And you feel that. Now, yes, we are in charge of our emotions. And we are in charge of how long we choose to feel that particular emotion. But just believe that, yes, sometimes people do things and they make you feel a certain way. I always cringe when, people do things to other people and then people tell you, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Get over it. Or don't worry about it. That's just them. And, it'll get better. But what if it doesn't get better? But what if this person does it to you again? Are you supposed to continue to, not worry about it? But the fact is, it affects you, right? It starts to affect you the more this person does it. So it's better to be able to express yourself. And you can just tell the person, listen, I notice very often that you do this. And when you do this, it makes me angry, or it makes me uncomfortable, or it makes me feel some type of way. What I would like for you to do is this. And if you want an apology from them, then you ask for that. A lot of times people don't realize they need to apologize because people just don't ask for it. So if you would like for a person to apologize, then you can ask for that. What I would like is an apology. Now, of course, it's their choice of whether or not they would like to apologize to you or not. If they choose not to apologize, then right there, that tells you a lot about that person. But if they do choose to apologize to you and attempt to make you feel better, then that also tells you a lot about that person. We always have to remember who the people in our lives that are diamonds and the people in our lives that are rocks. Now, some people are diamonds. At first, they present themselves as rocks, right? But if you polish them or, put enough pressure on them as some rocks, they can actually turn into diamonds. And then other people are just rocks. And so to those people, we just say, hey, you just chunk them. Like you just skip rocks or kick rocks, right? Because some people are just rocks. And that's okay. We're not designed or meant to have every single friend and every single person in our lives. But just make sure that you feel each emotion, no matter what it is, without any self-judgment. Your emotions are simply what they are, and there aren't any wrong emotions, only wrong ways that we've learned to react to them. So quiet yourself and allow yourself to feel, because you can't express yourself if you don't know what you're feeling. So again, in expressing yourself and your feelings, there are no bad feelings, within reason, of course. Acknowledge your own feelings without any judgment within yourself. If you're angry, then be angry. Feel that. But then figure out what about whatever it is that's making you angry. Figure out what exactly it is. Try to pinpoint it. What exactly it is that's making you angry. Learn to spot the physical signs of reluctance to accept or be aware of your feelings. So when you feel a feeling coming in, like a situation makes you uncomfortable and you try to say, you know what, no, I'm just going to push through it. Listen to that feeling. Listen to that feeling, because a reluctance comes in sometimes and it tries to reroute us to make us accept things that we really don't want to accept. And so the next thing I want you to think about is how you experience life. Abraham Lincoln has a quote, and in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. A few tips that I want to give you for that is, like I said, about those diamonds and those rocks. Get rid of those rocks, those negative people around you. Don't waste too much time complaining, because really complaining, what does it do? Complaining doesn't fix the situation, but when you take action, that fixes the situation. Reach out to positive friends and family. And I mean positive family, because we all know you can't pick your family. And sometimes you feel like, oh, I have to be around this person because we are family. But if that person, by being around them, is draining you of your energy, then don't be afraid to cut that person loose and just keep that person at a distance. Too often, we are always trying to cultivate the relationships with people who are just really draining us and draining us of our mental energy. Have you ever spent some time with someone and then after you leave from their home or they leave from your home, you feel exhausted? But that's not the way our social interactions are supposed to feel. They're supposed to be positive. They're supposed to feel good. When you see your friends, friends are supposed to bring you positive emotion. They're supposed to raise your endorphins. So I would be careful and be leery of people who come into your lives and that once you visit with them and then you leave from them, if you're feeling, tired or exhausted after being with them. Mindfulness is one of the greatest ways to enjoy every single moment of your life. By being present, you'll find much more joy in everything you do, right down to the smallest thing. You'll find that you'll find more enjoyment in food, with friends and family, and even in mundane tasks such as house cleaning and laundry. Trust me, it's true. I don't like cleaning my house. So I turn on a little music. And as I'm listening to the music, it kind of helps me. I'm pretty sure some of you out there do the same thing. That you turn on some music, kind of gets things going. It kind of boosts your mood, right? Because music has that type of effect on us. It has a positive effect on us. That music kind of gets us going. Spend a small amount of time every single day doing perhaps absolutely nothing. Just sit and be aware of the thoughts you have. Look up and notice the sky, the clouds, and the birds. Take advantage of all of your senses and just experience what they have to offer for 5 minutes every day. Without doing anything else, just sit. Don't actively think about the things you experience, just allow them to occur. Now, we have these important people in our lives. And in our busy schedules of meetings and daily, weekly, and monthly events and running errands and living for weekends and we schedule everything, right? Except for a time to play. Did you know that research has shown that even for adults, playing, experimenting, and exploring, they help keep you in the here and now? Increasing mindfulness and overall happiness is the goal that we all should strive for. And believe it or not, playing actually helps that. But I know some of us, feel like I'm an adult now, so I don't have time to play. As a child, we think as a child and we put away childish things, right? But actually, it works in just the opposite way. The more we actually play, the better we actually feel, the more creative we become. We actually become better in our jobs, better in our relationships. And play can look like all sorts of ways. And so I suggest grab your significant other, children, your best friend, and add time to your busy schedule and just play. Whether it's exercising, whether it's playing a sport, whether it's playing a board game, reading a book, doing something that you enjoy. Take some time and play. And as you are playing, I want you to really pay attention in that moment to that experience. Really pay attention to how you're feeling in the moment as you are playing. You'll realize that you actually feel really good. And so at this time, I want you to watch just a small, short video about the power of play.
We know play is important for the growth and development of children, but what about youth and adults of all ages? There's a power in play, and it never grows old. Play allows us to try new things, test our boundaries, to learn from our mistakes, and to have fun. All the essential building blocks to active and healthy kids, families, and communities. There's power in play. It builds and improves motor function, creativity, decision-making, problem-solving, and social skills like sharing, taking turns, helping others, and resolving conflict. North Van Recreation programs sponsor play. We make it fun to reach personal health goals, and we create the right spaces to build and nurture friendships and community spirit.
I mean, I think that the staff are marvellous and I think they do a terrific job.
The camaraderie is good and the instructors are very informative.
Awesome. You feel so much better after. I feel like you've accomplished something.
My most favorite thing is probably just working out with my friends.
I like to just mingle with lots of different people, you know, people of all ages, and that's what it's about.
Active play also affects physical and emotional outcomes like healthy hearts, muscles and bones, happiness, self-confidence, and self-esteem. Kids need 60 minutes of active play every day, yet 93% don't get enough to meet Canadian guidelines. Adults need 30 minutes per day, or 150 minutes per week. In the recent StatsCan survey, North Vancouver ranked one of the healthiest communities in the nation, but we still have work to do as residents stated the need to focus on weight management to improve overall health. We live nestled between mountains and water and are linked by great trails, parks, and roads. Our community is our playground, so feel the power and get active today. Press play with North Van Rec. Visit northvanrec.com.
All right. And so as you can see, now their recommendation is that adults, of course it said for kids, they need 60 minutes of play per day. But did you hear about what it said for adults? Adults need 30 minutes of play or up to 150 minutes of play per week. And did you hear about all the great benefits that are involved in play? So even as adults, we have to understand that playing actually provides us great benefits, and it's not just for kids. So at this time, I'm going to invite anyone who would like to come out. And what I mean by that is if you would like to speak to the rest of the group. You don't have to be on video, but you can just be on audio if you would like. And all you have to do is just raise your hand. And once you raise your hand, and you can talk about, you know, what you do to play, or even if you haven't done anything to play, or if you haven't had time, what are some things that you could do to play? So if anyone would like to just volunteer, you can click on the hand in the raise your hand button, and it will, I can click on you and it will allow you to speak. Don't be shy. All right. Well, we don't have anyone who's brave enough to share with the group today, and that's okay. But I just want to encourage everyone to take a moment and just play. Just, oh, we have someone. Okay. We have a Christina Adams, I believe. Christina, are you there? Uh-oh, I think I lost her. Okay. All righty. Maybe we can get her back. Okay, so she said she wanted to speak for, try to see if you can do it again. Try to see if you can raise your hand again to try and see if you can speak and see if we can fix it. Okay, let's see if we can try it again. Is it working? Okay, we'll try to see if you can type it, and then we'll go from there, and then I can just kind of tell the group what you were wanting to say. All right, so we're gonna wait, and Christina, she's going to type what she wants to say. And oh, okay, we have someone else. Let's see if someone else can try and see if they can speak and see if it'll work. Okay. I don't know what happened. Are you there? Are you able to speak? Okay. Just go ahead and try to type what you were wanting to say. Sorry about that it's not allowing you to speak. We'll have to get that fixed. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's not working, but I'm trying. Okay. Well, I don't know why we're having technical difficulties. I think she is on. Oh, wait. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's not working. But okay. Well, thank you so much, Christina, for wanting to come out. I really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't get you on. We'll try to make sure we get that fixed before next month. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on for the sake of time. But like I said, Christina or Gwen, I know both of you had your hands raised. So if you want to just type what you were wanting to say, you can definitely do that. And we can go from there. And I can just kind of tell everyone what you were wanting to say. Okay. Christina said, okay, that sounds good. And we have some other comments. A couple people have said, I think I'm going to try and do it more often. I'm done it a couple of times. Someone else says, I agree. That's good advice. Someone else has said, sometimes it's really hard to be present with so much going on. I agree. I definitely agree with you. Someone else has said, I like how she says there is no bad feelings, just the way we express them. That's true. Very true. All right. Well, we're going to go on. And so just within experiencing life, I want you to also focus on not worrying. And I know it's difficult because so many things are going on in the world today, and we're faced with all these images, these negative images all the time. If there's one bad habit that will suck the joy out of your life and keep you stuck, is worrying. And so I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't worry, because that's not realistic. But what I will say is set a timer. That's right. Set a timer. So if you know you're going to worry, or if you begin worrying, set a timer and give yourself a worrying time limit. Okay? So if you're going to start worrying about something, set a timer on your phone or in your house or whatever, and give yourself, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or however long you think you need to worry about whatever it is that you're worrying about. And then once the timer is up, I want you to clap your hands. And I want you to say, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to keep on going. All right? So once you realize you're worrying about something, like I said, I'm not telling you not to worry, because that's not realistic. But once you realize you were worrying, I want you to give yourself a worrying time limit. And once you start worrying, set your timer to a good, reasonable time. Once that timer goes off, clap your hands. That's your signal to stop worrying, and you say, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. And if there is something that you can do about it, then come up with your action plan. But if there's nothing you can do about it, because there's some things we can change and there's some things we cannot change. And so, hey, if you can do something about it, then do something about it. But if you can't, then it's time to move on. So if there is realistically nothing you can do about the situation you're worried about, then stop. And definitely be aware of the stories we tell ourselves. Like, be aware of the stories you tell yourself. Sometimes we can create a story around a situation and it's not even true. Sometimes we can work ourselves up and create these elaborate and intricate stories. And then once you start finding information out, you're like, what? That's not even true, right? So be careful of the stories that you tell yourself and the situations that we create in our minds. We have to really be careful with that. The very last tip I want to give you about being mindful and making more memorable moments and moments for your life is to embrace positivity. Positive thoughts generate positive feelings and attract positive life experiences. And so the benefits of positive emotions simply can't be overstated. There's so much good that can come from increasing your positive outlook and diminishing negativity in your life. You'll not only be more joyful overall, but you'll be more present in the wonderful moments you experience every day, day in and day out. And so even when all the chips are down and we have all the weight of the world on our shoulders, and it seems like everything is going wrong and it seems like everything is just not going our way. But if you can try your best to think positive about your situation, and you don't even have to think positive about your situation. Even if you think just a positive thought, think about a memory that made you happy. Very often, our minds are very powerful. And in our minds, if we can just go to that happy place in our minds just for that moment, our minds don't realize the difference between us actually physically being there and not actually being there. So in a moment, if you need to, just check out for a second if you're able to, and just go to that happy place and just take a moment and pause, because sometimes in life it can be a little much. Life can give you a lot of lemons, but as you know, they say you can definitely make lemonade out of those lemons. But as much as you can, I encourage you to embrace positivity. Whether you write positive affirmations or you listen to positive thoughts, you can go on my Facebook page, and I'm always throwing some positivity out there. Or if you need to, you can book a coaching call with me, and we can look and create a strategy around a issue or a problem that you're having in your life. We can look at it and dissect it, and we can come up with an action plan that's unique to how you operate in your life. Because we can't live our lives the way that other people want us to live our lives. We have to live our lives in the unique way that is natural to us. And so in embracing positivity, one of the most effective ways to add more life to your years is to truly learn to embrace positivity in all areas of your life. Embrace mindfulness, surround yourself with positive people, and appreciate what you already have and who you already are. I would like to say thank you so much. Our time is up. Like I said, I really hate that we didn't get a chance to allow some people to come out, live and share some of their experiences. So hopefully we'll get that together. But if you are interested in a more personal coaching experience, I invite you to send me an email. I have my email address there. It's rjacobs@striveforleadership.com. Like I said, in a personal one-on-one experience with my coaching calls, what I do is you take an assessment and we find out your top 5 strengths, and then that's what we work with. I work with who you naturally are, and we work on whether it's getting a new job, or if it's parenting, or if it's just being more fulfilled in your life, in your career, in your relationships, friendships, whatever it may be. We work with that, and we find out more about who you are uniquely as a person. And we devise a plan, and then you have a plan of attack and a plan of action, and you can live the most full and wonderful life imaginable. At this time, I want to open it up for questions. Are there any questions? If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask questions, and I'll try my best to answer them. Just reading some more of the comments. All right, so one of the questions was, what are some ways you engage in play? So I'm assuming that's me. I have 3 kids. So lots of times what I do to engage in play is, and I recognize how youthful they are, and I appreciate the innocence that they have and the inclination they have to play. And so we have Monopoly nights at our house. And so we really enjoy doing that, and as a family, and playing Monopoly. On a daily basis, my husband and I, and this is something recently I've just started doing, a new thing. I've had other times when I've tried to take walks throughout the building at my job, or I play games on my phone. That's my secret getaway, is I have a little game that I like to play on my phone. But my husband and I recently took a trip down to a town called Galveston. That's not too far away from here, if you've heard of it. And it's a beach town. And so what I try to do now, and if I'm feeling really stressed or if I feel like, you know, things are going kind of crazy, so I kind of go to Galveston every day. And I don't mean I physically get in my car and drive there, but in my mind, I just take a break and step back and I go to Galveston in my mind. And I think about all the fun things, walking on the seawall and, you know, us going to lunch and just us hanging out as a couple. And I go to that and immediately it brings me positive feelings and positive thoughts. And so I try to do that at least once a day, no joke. And I have to admit, you know, we're human and we don't always, you know, do something 100% with fidelity, although we would like to. But that's what we're all striving for, right? It's just practice. And we try to do the best that we can. And so those are some of the things that I do, you know, or it could be exercising. It could be walking. We have a trampoline in our backyard. So sometimes I've gotten on the trampoline with my kids. So there's so many things. There's nothing specific that it has to be. It has to be definitely something that is natural to you. If running or exercising is not your thing, I wouldn't suggest that you force yourself to do that, because if you start forcing yourself, then it's not play. Then it's not fun. You know, if playing with your kids doesn't make you happy and it stresses you out, then hey, don't play with your kids. I didn't say not love on your kids, but you know, maybe playing with your kids may just not be, you know, a thing that you enjoy. So if it doesn't bring you enjoyment, then I would say, you know, pick something else. But try to find something, some type of activity, if you can, with your kids, and show them that you can have a great time, and that is important, because, you know, kids have no problem playing, and sometimes you can have them show you how they play, and they actually would appreciate that from you if you play the things that they want to play. So I hope that answers your question. All right, like I said, thank you so much for joining me this evening on a nice Thursday evening. As always, I really appreciate everyone's support. If you are interested in booking me for a speaking engagement, look, again, you can contact me at rjacobs@striveforleadership.com. Again, it's rjacobs@striveforleadership.com. Oh, I have another question here. The question is, do you consider some quiet time reading a book playing? Yes, actually I do, especially if what you are reading is something of enjoyment. Now, if you're studying because you're reading, no, because unless you enjoy studying, but whatever the activity, and don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be a super duper energetic activity. It could be something nice and quiet, because sometimes we just need some quiet time. Like I said, I go to Galveston in my mind every day. That's not a very active activity. It's actually a quiet activity. So if you find that reading a book gives you a happy feeling inside, because that's something that you want to do, then by all means, yeah, find some time, whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you can read a book. For you moms out there who are very busy, because I know how it is. I long for the days when I could just read a book, you know, but I found Audible is really awesome. I actually listen to books on tape. You pay the membership. I think it's like $14.99 or something. And not that I'm just, you know, giving a plug for them. They're not paying me. But, you know, I listen to books on the way to work, you know, or on the way home. And that's my time. And even with Alexa, you can have Alexa read the book to you. So if you have an Alexa at home. So yes, I would say if you enjoy reading and that's something that you like doing, then yes, reading a book is definitely an activity that can bring you joy. And when you read, really read the book, and, you know, really, especially if it's a fiction book, really pay attention to the images that the author is painting for you. Really be present in the moment of that book, and just really, you know, take in everything, the words that are on the pages while you're reading it. Thank you for that question. I hope that answered that question. I hope that helped you out. All right, we are just shy of about 5 more minutes of our time. So if anyone else has any questions or anything, again, if you are interested in booking a personal one-on-one, a more personal one-on-one call, we can talk more about personal moments or making, more memorable moments within yourself or with your family. You can definitely do that. You just send me an email and then I'll send you the link to book a time. You book the coaching time. That's the best time for you. Once you click on the link, then it'll give you a couple of options for days and different times for you to book a call. And we book the call. It's about 45 minutes to an hour. And then we book that call. The first call is free. And so you book that call. But if you really want to, if you're really interested in purchasing some coaching packages, I have a few coaching packages where, we work together more in depth for different situations and different problems or concerns that you may have, or different goals or that you're striving for, because that's what we're doing, right? We're striving for leadership. All right. Well, again, thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. For those of you who are on in this webinar tonight, I am going to be sending you a little gift. It's just a little short, about 19 or 20 tips about being more mindful emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So look out for that. You'll receive that in about the next 24 hours, along with the replay link. And so, again, I really appreciate it. You're getting that special gift. No one else is going to be able to get this special gift. So it's just about 20 tips that I thought of and I would like to share with you. Take what you can that works for you, and the other things, hey, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, but you can maybe pass it on to someone else. I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. I really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for joining me for an hour of your evening. I want you to have a wonderful weekend. And again, continue to strive for leadership. I'm Renika Jacobs, and I want you to have a great day or evening. Bye-bye.